Hey guys, so you're looking to make the best selections for the spring cleanup featured program. We've got 5 new bosses, and we're going to go over which ones that you should take if you are looking to maximize your team. We're going to rank those. We're also going to discuss the new rank season rewards, as we got 2 new bosses in that as well. We're going to go over which ones you should go after and which ones you should avoid. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into the new content. All right, guys, so in the new spring cleanup featured program at 150,000 XP, you will get your first boss that you can choose from. It is a player pack that you can choose between 1 of 5. If you want to know how to get XP the fastest, my video prior to this one did go over the best ways to do that, so make sure you go check that out if you're struggling to get XP. Let's rank the bosses. All right, so we'll start off at number 5, and that's the Mets' Tom Seaver, starting pitcher. Great stamina at 111, but his hits per 9 down to 86. Just not going to be worth it for very long. 86 is very low in the grand scheme of things when you're considering top-end starting pitchers. Just not going to do it for very long. And again, like I said, this is about longevity. Which card that you can take that's going to be on your team and have the most impact for you for the longest period of time. Not to mention his velocity down at 83, and his break is at 92. There's just a lot of other starting pitchers that you can get for free that you just not really going to want to waste one of your 2 selections on Seaver. He does have a fastball at 95, sinker at 93, which is a good, sinker, obviously one of the pitches that you need, and then a curve and changeup down in the 70s. His velocity discrepancy from 70s into the 90s is very good. However, the pitch control for the slower stuff, the changeup and the curve, just absolutely brutal. However, that sinker is pretty devastating with 96 on the control. The break only at 82. There's just a lot better options in my opinion. So I would not, unless you're a Mets fan, I just wouldn't take this Tom Seaver card. All right, coming in at number 4 is the 93 David Justice, and just because he is 4 does not mean that he is a bad card. It is more just due to his position that he is going to play. The outfield is always going to be the most crowded. He can play any of the outfield positions. However, his defense is pretty lacking when you consider the fact that he's not going to be able to play center for you with 45 speed and his arm down at 74. Right field, you don't want anyone that has under 90 in terms of his arm. So he's basically stuck in left field. There's a lot of other options that you can go with that I think are just probably better for you. I mean, if you do the collections and you get Kirk Gibson, that would be one. Even throwing Bryce Harper out in left for his live series card, probably just as good. Is a left-handed bat, which is good, but nonetheless, just going up against way too much competition for me here. The hitting stats are great. Contact against righties at 90, 104 against lefties, and then the power, 93 against righties and 108 against lefties. Obviously, that is phenomenal. There is just a lot of other players that you can get, so that's why David Justice ranks number 4. Coming in at number 3 is the 93 Eddie Matthews, a left-handed bat playing third base. Now, third base is just pretty thin early on. Unless you have the Angels collection done and you've got Troy Gloss, or maybe you have the 100,000 stubs and were able to get Albert Pujols, you're probably using Jose Ramirez, and your shortstop is probably a weaker position for you, so you could move Jose Ramirez over to shortstop. But this is just for the free-to-play guys. This is a decent pick because of the position he plays. He's got good contact against righties and lefties at 86 and 84, so he can get into the 90s with a parallel 5. Then his power against righties is at 94, and his power against lefties is at 109. And the reason why that is kind of important is because later on as the game goes into the later innings, if you're playing ranked seasons, and someone brings in that lefty pitcher, you want to have a left. It's not going to be as detrimental to you if you have, let's say, Joey Votto. Again, different position, but if you had Joey Votto, he can't really hit lefties. Eddie Matthews can, so it's not as brutal as just basically having an out, essentially. So his defense is nothing special, either is his speed, but again, that third base just being very thin early on is the reason why he comes in at number 3 for me. Coming in at number 2 is the 93 Ernie Banks, and again, it plays a very thin position, in my opinion, at shortstop, can play third base, and does bat right. A lot of the top-end pitchers so far in the game early on are left-handed. Obviously, Randy Johnson is among the top there. And again, contact at 116 against lefties. Power's down at 87, but again, if you are able to parallel him, that's going to help with that. His power against righties is a little low, but his swing is very good. I've used him for the last couple years, and I've loved Ernie Banks' swing every single time I've used him. Fielding is very good, so he's not going to cost you at shortstop. I think the problem with Jose Ramirez at shortstop is that he just, for whatever reason, just cannot field at all. But a very good all-around card, and if you're looking for that left side of the infield, Ernie Banks can cover both of those positions. And then coming in at number 1 is the 93 Zach Britton. Now, the reason why he is number 1 is because he has the potential to last the longest in your lineup. The other positions, honestly, all four, are probably going to be replaced within a month or so, maybe even less. Hits per 9 at 120 means that he can get to 125 if you parallel him all the way up, which is endgame. That is the max you can go, and something that you really want to try and get for all of your pitchers. That means that your opponent's PCI is going to be as small as it possibly can be. And again, if you parallel him up, his Ks per 9 can touch into the mid-90s. His velocity and break is maxed out. Does have a sinker, which is obviously important, with the slider and a fastball. That sinker is 99 control, 99 pitch break. Just a devastating pitch if you know how to locate it, which is why Zach Britton comes in at number 1 among the 5 bosses. Now let's move on to the new ranked season rewards. So if you are able to get up to either 900 rating or play 350 innings, it's still way too much. You will get a choice of any of the prior 3, and then the new 93. Vinny Castillo we'll take a look at first, is third base, and honestly, a very, very good third baseman when you consider the fact that third base is so weak, like I'd mentioned prior with Eddie Matthews. Contact at 94 across the board. Power against righties at 96. Power against lefties at 87. Decent fielding, at least for third base. And speed is really nothing to, be excited about. Honestly, there are probably better options for you, especially if you go with Eddie Matthews in your choice packs. But it's not like he's going to be awful for you. He does have a pretty glitchy swing as well, so Vinny Castilla isn't a bad option. And then we've got the 93 breakout Clayton Kershaw. Hits per 9 down to 86. Really hurts this card. And I'm not going to lie, the ranked season rewards, just all 5 of them, I really had higher hopes for Dontrelle Willis. He just not a good pitch mix for me. And yeah, I thought his delivery would be a little bit more difficult to pick up. Jorge Posada has been the clear number 1 in this, as Posada still has a crack swing, but there was a lot of catcher options for you early in the game. But let's take a look at Clayton Kershaw. Hits per 9 at 86, K per 9 at 96, break at 95, and the velocity at 90. He has a 4-seam fastball, slider, curve, circle change, and a sinker. Sinker is at 94 miles an hour, but he's got 75 control on it and 73 break. So it's his fastball, slider, and curve, and like his fastball is great, but it's not like it has outlier on it. So it's just not an extremely good mix. And the one important pitch you want is not very good. It's honestly his worst one. So not a really great option here between the 2 ranked season rewards. And if you're someone who isn't someone that doesn't excel at ranked seasons, I'd probably just wait until better cards come out if you're going to grind. Because honestly, any of the 5 are not all that phenomenal. I'll do a little team update of what I'm rocking with right now in ranked seasons. We've got the left fielder Kirk Gibson, as well as the parallel 5 Mike Trout. Love this card. Early on in the year, he was brutal for me. The worst Mike Trout card has ever been. Now he's kind of just picked things up. Roberto Clemente, I thought would have no pop, has quite a bit of it, surprisingly, and obviously that contact at max this stage of the game is a great advantage. Frank Thomas, I don't know what it is. I bat very well with him at 326. But he just doesn't hit homers for me. In 479 at bats, he has 40 home runs. For whatever reason, all he does is hit singles. I won't complain, but it's just odd. I don't know what it is. Chase Utley at second, who I've loved. Troy Gloss at shortstop, with Pujols down at third base, and then Posada now at my catcher. I moved Gary Carter out because Posada just his swing is a glitch. On the bench, I've got Sizemore, Gary Carter, Eric Davis, the parallel 5, Jose Ramirez, and then Joey Votto. He absolutely crushes right-handed pitching. It's unfair. And then my starting pitchers, I've got Randy Johnson, Mike Messina, Logan Webb, Dallas Keuchel, and Corbin Burns. My bullpen, Chapman, Mariano Rivera, Hader, the new Zach Britton, Emmanuel Clase, Devin Williams, Cishek, and Kenley Jansen. Guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think among the new 5 bosses from the new program, as well as the ranked season awards. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.